I sang and played music to call your name. People don't talk about a strange trend in country music. There is a good chance that one voice will fill the void when someone dies. The room is dark, the coffin is open, and no one knows what to say. Vince Gill. Families ask for that song, not because he wants it or because he wants to be the center of attention at that time. Take a break up on that mountain. It's played in chapels in small towns with folding chairs, churches with stained glass, military wakes, and memorials for people who weren't even country music fans. His words became the music in the movie Goodbye in some way. And that kind of memory isn't very exciting. The song began in 1989, after Keith Whitley had died. Vince didn't finish it at that time. He wasn't able to. He said that every time he tried, something got in the way. That's what grief does. It cuts off the music. After many years, after his brother Bob died in 1993, he finally finished it. The time frame is important. Part of it was written while I was shocked, and the rest was finished while I was bleeding. That little thing changes how you hear it. He didn't try to hide how he felt when he sang it in public for the first time at the 1995 CMA Awards. Harmony was sung by Patty Loveless. There was Ricky Skaggs next to him. His cameras caught him sucking hard in the space between lines. There was no performance method there. That person was just about making it through. We got 2 Grammys for the song. Also, it never left him alone again. In the beginning of his work, nothing made him sound like he would become the funeral voice. He had soft words, was a careful musician, and sang with a steady voice. Something changed after that song, though. The call came when George Jones died in 2013. Vince stood in front of the Grand Ole Opry House and sang the same song again. There is video of it. His voice gets rough around the middle of the second line. Not very much, just a little. You might miss it if you blink, but it's there. It's hard to breathe. He looks down and calms down. He had sung that song 1,000 times before, but the situation changes everything. Jones wasn't just another artist. He stood for a generation and was a rock. Vince was no longer a kid trying to get liked, he was now the one who was left to sing the goodbye song. Writing a song about loss is one thing, but having to play it over and over again is another. That duty grows slowly. When Merle Haggard died in 2016, the music business felt less full. The same thing happened after Glenn Campbell and again after John Prine in 2020. It gets quieter in the room. At some point, you start to feel bad about something. You're still there. Vince doesn't talk about this part in public very often. It's not seen as a problem by him. But being close to sadness changes people, even if they don't say it. In talks, he said that it's still hard for him to sing Go Rest High. It's been decades since then. After a few tours, most hits lose their emotional power. It didn't happen with this one because it's not linked to a past event. It keeps adding to the loss it already has. That's not like most fame. That is mental exposure over a long time. And now for the part that not many people think about. When your voice makes you think of death, it follows you around in real life. People talk to him after shows and say things like, "That was our last song together, that was played at my dad's funeral," and so on. It's not the same to applaud after that. It's not possible to fully separate it. Not if you're paying attention, which Vince always is. Artists who have been close to loss for a long time have changed in a subtle way. Their jokes get less funny. Their breaks get longer. They pay more attention. Listen to Vince's most recent talks. He speaks slowly. Not because he doesn't have words, but because he picks them out on purpose. There was no plan for this. Music, he didn't mean to be the person people call when someone dies, but over time, that's what happened. And there's something else going on below it all. His brother died. He lost his mom and dad. He was there for Amy when she was having health problems. He saw his friends leave. Go rest high on that mountain every time he sings that chorus. He's not just giving someone else peace. He's going over his own again. After 30 years, that makes you feel something. Not exciting or dramatic. It takes hold. Vince Gill is more than just a country star with awards and plaques by the time he is 68. A lot of families remember their worst day because of this man. That's not a spotlight either. Wait a minute. It doesn't matter if he can still sing it. What matters is how much it costs him each time. Vince failed the first time he tried to write "Go Rest High on That Mountain." That is significant. He passed away in May 1989. Poisoning by alcohol. 34 years old. People in Nashville heard the news very quickly. It always does. There are phone calls, whispers in the studio, and that shocked silence that goes away after the shock wears off. Soon after, Vince began the song. 2 lines were simple. When it's new, pain can be very clear. After that, nothing. He put it away not because it wasn't good, but because it wasn't finished. He also didn't know how to finish something that seemed unfinished. Grief doesn't happen in a neat way. Songs do. That stress stopped him. Years went by. New albums came out. There were a lot of awards. By the early 1990s, when "I Call Your Name" went viral, he wasn't having any trouble anymore. He was going up. Opry member, hit records, and a lot of touring. The unfinished song was in a drawer somewhere. Then 1993 came along. His bigger brother Bob died quickly of a heart attack. Not a warning. That kind of call. Over the years, Vince has talked carefully about that time. Not in a big or theatrical way, just quietly. He cared about his brother. Bob wasn't well known. He wasn't a part of the business world. He was family. Blood and a common past. For that loss, things were different because it wasn't a work friend. This wasn't another artist's death notice. There was a lot of personal in this. After that, something changed. He went back to the song that wasn't finished. There is a lot at stake here. He didn't make a big plan. He didn't say that I should finish my work now. He went back to it because the words now made more sense. It wasn't long before the third verse came. He tells it that way, making it sound like it was waiting. "I know your life on earth was hard," the line said. They had both known Whitley. They both had their own pain to carry. It wasn't just music that had harmony. It was a group thing. And that 1995 CMA Awards performance, which people still watch over and over, wasn't polished in the normal way. It's clear from the way Vince stands. Your shoulders are a little forward, and your eyes aren't completely on the camera. That wasn't managing your picture. That was weakness showing through control. The business world praised it right away. There were standing ovations and 2 Grammys for Song of the Year. But here's what makes the story more complicated. It doesn't feel good to win awards for a song that you wrote after your brother died. It seems hard to understand. It's not celebrated the same way. When success is tied to loss, it doesn't land smoothly. People don't talk about this irony very often. The bigger the song got, the more likely it was that he would think about the loss over and over again. Show after show, funeral after funeral, and televised tribute after televised homage. Here's one more thing. Songs often go with certain times. Certain years are known for breakup songs. Party songs get old. Even love songs with a duet tend to sound nostalgic. Go Rest High didn't. It stuck to new cuts over and over again. He is a farmer in Oklahoma, a mother in Kansas, and a soldier in Tennessee. They all sing the same song and have the same voice. In the past, Vince never got to close it off. It kept turning back on. There's also a culture side to this. Country music has long been linked to telling stories about hard times. However, this song became more than that. It got into the church walls. That's not like a modern country song at all. It made the lines between ritual and genre less clear. And right gets repeated. Every repetition helps us remember. Vince is 68 years old now, so when he sings that first line, he isn't feeling the same way he did in 1995. It's stacked and piled. History on top of history. In an interview, he said that he still has trouble getting through it sometimes. That's many years later. That tells you something. Some songs end a story. This one didn't. It opened again and stayed open. There's also the psychological side of writing while you're sad. Making art out of grief makes the feeling last forever. It keeps it at its full strength. It can't be watered down later. Finishing that song may have felt like the end at the time, but it also meant that it would stay that way. And staying the same has weight. So, what does it do to a man when the song that makes him think of his brother all the time is the one that people want to hear the most? That's not a high point of your work. That's a reminder for life. In April 2013, George Jones died in Nashville. That might not seem very big if you weren't raised on country music. But inside that world, things were moving quickly. George wasn't just a number on a list. He was the voice of sorrow, the standard, and the person that everyone else was judged by. The service for the dead took place at the Grand Ole Opry house. The walls of that house are full of history. Wooden floors that have been used for many years. Accents from music from all over.